Good morning, Bucknutters. It's Tuesday, August 2nd, 2016. I'm Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change, coming to you from a crisp, delightful Gem City, and joined, as always on Tuesdays, by the one and only Duane Long. Duane, how are you feeling this fine morning?
It's a beautiful day, ready to get started.
Good time to start, obviously. Duane is on every Tuesday. And the way it works now, our show is basically wrapping up the greatness that took place in the previous few days. One in particular, Emory Jones made his commitment official or verbal. Your thoughts on Jones, how he fits into the quarterback situation, where you see him on the depth chart eventually, all that good stuff.
Emory Jones is, if you look at all the players committed, I'm a big Dwayne Haskins fan. Love the arm. I think he can be a good runner, but we have not seen that much of him as a runner. Emory Jones is not the picture-perfect passer that Haskins is, but he's got, I would say, as big an arm. Mechanically, he's not as sound, but he's fine. You probably wouldn't even mess with it. You could if you wanted to really iron it out and turn it into something special, but you really don't want to mess with mechanics if you don't have to. And it's not one like a Terrell Pryor where you had to do something. He still he throws the ball great. I'm just saying it could be a little better if you wanted it to. It could be Dwayne Haskins. He's got that kind of arm. But where he separates himself from all the other guys, and I mean, this is a stacked depth chart. I've been watching high state football since 1968. I've not seen a depth chart like this. I haven't seen one come close. Where he separates himself is also with he's the best runner of the bunch. There was a conversation about someone was comparing him to J.T. Barrett, and I said no. And someone else, SoCal Buck, came on and said more like Braxton Miller. And he's Braxton Miller with an even better arm. He can really be, he's a big threat to Haskins. I think a bigger threat than Tate Martell, who I really like. Love Emory Jones, love getting him in. I understand he's just a really great kid too. So that's a big plus. Love this commitment. And you get the quarterback in, Dan, and it just seems to cascade. Kids know the game. They've been playing it since they were little boys. And they know how important a quarterback is. And if there's a quarterback in the class, an outstanding quarterback, it seems to resonate and draw more kids. So getting him early is another big plus, getting him in this early.
Yeah, I think it's also just so impressive that they've now gone into a state like Georgia and pulled out another player. We're talking about a team this year, and I said this on the Bucknuts 90. The captain of our offense is going to be from Texas this year, and the captain of our defense is going to be from Georgia. So, they're hand-picking guys out of Georgia, or at least getting ones, and the bigger states that are impressive. I'll say this. I'm not sure. I've watched Jones a plenty. I'm not sure he's Braxton with the ball in his hands. That's more my feelings on Braxton. I'm not sure there's ever been – I have to really think about it. And as a quarterback that's as elusive as Braxton, that had that top-end speed. But Jones does look like the next level version of kind of a Braxton, almost Barrett hybrid. And keep in mind, he did all his accolades on the field so far came as a sophomore in Georgia. So I don't think we're going to have any issue with quality of competition. I'm told by the people that I spoke to that were at Friday Night Live that he was the best quarterback there. You heard the same?
Yes. He really put on the show. He's special. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say he's as good as Braxton with the ball in his hands, and once he breaks the pocket. Because Braxton, this guy just got drafted in the NFL after, what did he catch, 10 balls in his college career, something like that. He's not that, but he is closer to that than he is. He's superior to J.T. Barrett as far as, running the ball, and he's got a bigger arm. So, yeah, but and I think he's going to be a more accurate passer than Miller was. That's why Miller's a receiver now. He wasn't going to be consistent putting the ball on the mark. that Emory Jones is close. He's close athletically and better as far as just being a passer.
I would agree. I also find it impressive that a kid can come to Friday Night Lights, go out there and throw with, Kate Martell and Danny Clark, and really some high-profile guys, being watched by high-profile guys, and then he goes back and decides to commit shortly thereafter. He's clearly not intimidated by the depth chart, which is very cool. He's the second commitment in 2018. Of course, Brian Sneed committed earlier. Now the focus is really going to shift to 2018. We're told a hard pivot towards 2018. And Ohio really has some interesting guys in 2018. Who are the 2 or 3 guys in Ohio that you consider just elite prospects right now? There may be more than that, but who are the 2 or 3 that really stand out to you as just premier have-to gets?
Well, there are 4 really that just absolutely leap out at me. We've got to have them. Number 1 is Jackson Carman. I believe that Jackson Carman will be the second best offensive lineman I've ever evaluated in Ohio when it's all said and done. He's just he may not have the straight ahead speed of a Myers, but he's more athletic, more agile kid. He's already past pro, and he's just as powerful. Jackson Carman is, you have to have him. If you have to kidnap him and brainwash him, you've got to make him a Buckeye. He is the future at left tackle. Kid's off the charts. He is that good. It looks like we're not going to have to do that because I got a feeling he's not going to be sitting out there very long uncommitted. He really looks good for Ohio State. Got to have him, and you got to have Jaelen Gill. Gill is just a difference maker. When he touches the ball, you want to talk about lightning. He's a bigger version of Dobbins. He can make people miss in the open field, and if you miss, just go on, get ready for the kickoff, because nobody's going to catch him. Now, I think he's going to grow into a running back. Right now, I would be looking at him as a wing back, but he's 6 feet tall. He's legitimately 6 feet tall. Got a decent frame on him. He's probably going to go 200 pounds. Not ever going to be a big back, but he'll be big enough to be a running back, I believe. I love this kid. He's just the Dobbins of this class, but a little bit bigger. Probably got better top end speed. The kid, once he's in the open field, you just watch him pull away from people. Love Gill. I love Gant. Gant, he just came down here.
Dallas Gant.
Interesting. Dallas Gant. No, sorry, I didn't call. I just tend to call him by their last name. Dallas Gant is, I see that weak side linebacker that we're recruiting. I see Jerome Baker. I really see that in him. I see it just a super athletic kid that can really run and has great football instincts. He's a must-have kid. I think it's very interesting. It seemed like there was someone trying to say that he could be a Michigan lean. Well, he mentioned 3 schools and Michigan wasn't in it. Ohio State, Michigan,
Toledo.
State, yeah, and so someone said something about Michigan and that he was not favoring Ohio State. He was a Michigan lean, and he didn't even mention Michigan. I think it was Ohio State, Michigan State, and I believe the third school was Notre Dame. So that kid right there, you got to have him. And I love Chris Oates. I believe he could be a great strong side linebacker. He could go into a defensive end, that's fine. He's great at the line of scrimmage. They put him at the line of scrimmage. He's a long kid. I love having those long kids at that second level. It just causes more disruption for the quarterback. A bigger guy out there, he's going to have better reach, so he's going to get to people quicker. He runs great. So it's not like you can just say, oh, well, he's going to pack on so much weight, he's going to have to move down. I don't know if he's going to. You don't worry about it. You take him. Those are the 4 guys that I love. And I tell you, I got a fifth who I believe is just going to blow up, and that's Aeneas Hawkins. When he starts getting into the varsity football, the first month of the season, when we see him do the same things at the varsity level that he did at the junior varsity level, because the junior varsity film looks like a video game. I think that he's going to be a big-time kid. All those offers he's got coming in, I think that they're legit, and Ohio State will have to get involved early on him. Those are the guys that I love. I love Christian Smith, but I just don't think he's going to play football. I think everything says across the board, talk to other guys, they think he's going to play basketball.
Couple things. I've heard the same thing on Christian Smith. I'm here in the Gem City, as he's a little few miles away from me at Wayne. That's the vibe. I guess it could change. That's a school where, Wayne's been to the state championship. We're close in football and basketball, so it's hard for him to make a call. Hawkins is amazing. It's just amazing that a JV kid could generate that much interest. However, people should understand playing JV at Cincinnati Moeller is not like playing JV at any high school. I mean, those are factory-type schools with fantastic programs and Division I players in a lot of spots. So I think people probably heard JV and thought, what the? But it's legit. He's a big boy with a great upside and a future. One thing I wanted to comment, here's my one thing on Jaelen Gill. And I may be in the minority here. I just don't see him filling out to be a running back. Having seen him in person, he just doesn't look to me to have the frame to be the kind of guy that's going to be able to take an everyday pounding at that size. I have actually a different comparison for him. Sometimes when you watch tape, it just kind of comes to you, and I see him eventually moving outside. And to me, he's a lightning fast Peter Warwick. So I could be wrong. And believe me, that's not a diss. I thought Peter Warwick was the best player in college football his senior year. He just didn't have that top end speed. That's what I see out of Gill. I've heard some people compare him to Percy Harvin. I had the good fortune of covering Percy Harvin a little bit in high school. They're not the same player. Harvin was built like a spark plug from jump. Gill may actually be a little more smooth in the open field, but Harvin was much thicker than Gill. That said, Gill is the guy on tape who beats the angle. I love guys who, when they, you can see when pursuant defenders have the angle on him consistently, he can run it right out. He's blessed. So I'm high on Gill as well. He's obviously a must get wherever they put him. I just don't see him as an every down back. We shall see. One thing, Duane, that we has come up on the board recently, and with these offers going out theoretically in the past few days, committable versus non-committable has become a topic again, something you're passionate about. Why don't you shed some light on the whole goings-on of the last few days?
It's ridiculous. I mean, this is what I compare it to. You ask a woman to marry you, but you say you can't say yes just yet. That's crazy. I'm offering you a scholarship, but you can't accept it yet. Someone explain to me how that goes over. I would love for someone to tell me who had an uncommittable offer. How did that conversation go? That you have an offer, but you can't accept it just yet. But you do have an offer. I don't know how. If I'm a parent sitting in that living room, I'm going, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. We either have a scholarship offer or we don't. You're pregnant or you're not. This isn't it's so frustrating to me that we hear about an offer and then we find out, it's uncommittable. Well, then he doesn't have an offer. That to me makes absolutely no sense. And I hate that we're involved in it. And I tell you the truth, I've been looking back, asked some friends, that follow this as closely as I do, and one friend said, you know what, the first time I ever heard of it was with Ohio State. Uncommittable offer. Those two words don't even belong in the same sentence. I don't know how this got started. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And as a parent, that would do nothing but tick me off if a coach came in and said that to my son. I would say, you know what, these people are playing games. Don't just put them at the bottom of your list. I would do that. That would anger me to such an extent. That would be like you're snake oil salesman. You're trying to sell me something that isn't real. I hate this. I hope that someday it goes away.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the beautiful thing about Ohio State is going forward, I'll just say this. If you should know if you can play at Ohio State right now. This is not a place for you to come in the future if you're a guy who's getting non-committable offers. You're not even going to get on the field. So if they do that, my suggestion to those, hey, you're not going to play here. They're recruiting the elite of the elite. The only thing that would make me more angry is if I trained my whole life to do something and then I went to do it and the water was contaminated and I couldn't breathe. That's my Olympic soapbox. But we shall see. Should be a very interesting few days coming up here, Bucknutters.
Three teaspoons of water, Dan. They say three teaspoons of water can make of the water that the Olympians are going to be swimming in. Just 3 teaspoons can make them sick to the point where they can't compete anymore in this Olympics. 3 teaspoons, and these people are getting in this water. It's absolutely insane. They should cancel this and move on.
See, I hear that, and I agree with it, but what if you trained your whole life for this one opportunity? There's no professional swimming league. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, I'm not going to swim in that, but the sailors or whatever, even the sports, it's just such a ridiculous. These people have been, these athletes have been totally screwed over by this whole deal. So they need to elect Urban Meyer as head of the IOC. That's my final verdict.
Postpone for a year. Don't cancel. Postpone for a year.
They got to do something. I agree. All right, man. Let's get on the boards. You can chat with us about this. We'll have this up shortly. Have a great one, Bucknutters.